Hey guys, today I bring you this new project based on the TERRA blockchain. I will leave the links to their website and their socials on the description so you don't have to worry about that. So, this is Deviants, or Deviants Factions. About this project, this is a new NFT game to be released on Q1 2022. It's a card-based game where you battle another player with your deck of cards and try to defend yourself at the same time. The universe of this game is located in the underworld of society, where powerful individuals with the ability to do extraordinary things battle for survival. They present us with 4 factions in this underworld that battle for the future of humanity. These factions are the Implacables, the Awakened, the Owners, and the Entropy. Each faction and its members have unique traits and personalities, and that I will leave to you to discover when you visit the website. And lastly, on their website you have the team and the pictures of every one of them and their names. We can say this is something good for the project since there are no anonymous developers, and in case something happens, someone can take responsibility. On their website you can find all the links to their social networks, and you see here we have the Medium page where they are posting the updates and developments they are making, and in here we have the latest releases which were explaining a bit about the game. My intention is in this video plaster what they have been releasing and something more visual so it's easier to understand. Please bear in mind that this is my interpretation of what the developers have said, and you should still visit and read it, and also that we are so early in this project that many changes can happen, so what has been said not necessarily will remain that way. Okay, so what has been said up till now is this. We have 4 factions, and you can choose your allegiance if you want. This is optional, and you don't need to choose to play the game, but what you do have to choose will be your HQ card, meaning your headquarters, and this will be the one you get in the matches you play. You have to defend this card at all costs. The game board will be divided in lanes and rows with the HQ at the back, so every card in front of it has to protect it. You will encounter 2 types of cards beside the HQ, which will be characters and technologies. These characters can be deviants or undeviants. The undeviants do not have a faction, and according to the lore, they do not have the same abilities as the deviants. The character properties will be, besides its name, faction symbol, gender, which will be male, female, or non-binary, the attack, in this case it means the attack points, and also an attack type, and last, an ability. Behind them will be the technologies, which will also have a faction symbol and will be only usable by characters of the same faction. The technology properties will be resistance and ability. With this combo, you will battle with enemy characters and strategies will have to adapt to the many combinations of cards possible. But never forget to defend your own HQ. For now, we will represent the characters with triangles and the technologies with circles, since we don't have the art yet and don't know how they will look. I drew 3 lanes, but the amount of lanes might be different from what is shown here, since this is what I'm guessing that will be based on the starting 3 cards that we get, but there might be more or less. Next, we have the mechanics behind the attacks. We will have 4 different types of attacks to adapt to the different strategies that will lead to victory. Starting off with the basic attack, it's pretty easy to understand. The character will attack anything it has in front of him. Otherwise, it will attack the HQ. Then we have ranged attacks that will not attack their own lanes, so they can flank the enemy and deal combined damage with a partner. Third, we have blast attacks. Blast attacks are ways of damaging multiple enemies at once, making for good support to teammates. And lastly, we have conditional attacks. They can vary from character to character and need to meet certain conditions, but I believe an example would be for a character to be able to attack their HQ directly. This is not what the dev team said, this is only what I'm guessing. So, what can we expect in a game against another player? And how will the match be played? Each player will start with their HQ with full health, meaning their structure points. Where I placed it's at 100 points, but it will most likely depend on what HQ you choose. And 3 cards are dealt to each player. After that, at the start of each round, they will draw a card and decide what to place on the board. Here we see the blue player decided to play a character card, remember it was a triangle, and this card will be placed on the first spot to the left of its row. Characters will be placed in the front row, and every time you play a card, it will fill the first empty spot starting from the left. Here I'm assuming both players see their enemy in the top, and so the left spot for red would be the right lane on our screen. So this may be not the case in the actual game, and maybe both players see the same view, so red might see himself on top and the left spot would be right in front of blue's card. So in this case, red chooses to play 2 cards, a character and a technology. They are placed in their respective rows, and now we see that there is a number on a timer. This is the planning property of cards. This will be how many turns need to pass until the character can attack. So, a card with a 0 on planning will attack on the same turn it's placed, and a card with 1 point in planning needs to wait a turn before it can attack. Following this, we have the resolution phase. After each player played its cards on the board, the cards will do their attacks. So, blue character has 0 on planning, so it can attack. This is not the case for red's card, which has 1 in planning. Let's play it out. Since we don't have enough info on all attack types, let's do basic attacks for now. Remember we talked about lanes. Basic attacks attack everything they have in front of them. In this case, blue's card doesn't have neither a character nor a technology in front, so it can attack directly to their HQ. It will deal damage equal to the card's damage, and in this case it will lower the HQ structure points by 20. The objective of the game is to bring it to 0. At this point, after all attacks play out, the board should rearrange to fill empty spots to the left, which is not the case here. Here we have all spots filled. And also, planning timers, remember those cards that need to wait before they can attack, should progress and lower by 1. Leaving, in this case, red's card ready for attacking in the next turn. Now we go back to the first phase in round 2, and they both draw another card and decide what to play. We see here what every player chooses, and after they play the cards, the board will look like this. Let's assume blue character and red text are all the same as the first round. As we see here, when the resolution phase comes this time, there will be much more action. Starting from the left lane, we have blue's character that would attack red's tech, dealing 20 damage. Since this tech has 20 resistance, it is destroyed. On the center lane, we have two characters confronted. Since both have 0 planning points, they should attack at the same time, dealing their respective damage. I'm not sure if this is how it will work, that both cards attack at the same time, but in the case it is, we see that blue's character doesn't have enough damage to kill red's character, but red does have what it takes, so blue's character is killed. Still, red's card gets its HP reduced by 20, leaving it with 10 HP from the 30 it initially had. Lastly, on the right lane, both characters deal enough damage to wipe out their enemy's HP, and both will die. So, if we remove every character that died, we see that there is an empty spot at the red's left. So, in the end phase, the center card gets moved to fill it. That's it for now with how much would play out. I'm hoping to hear more news and updates from the team so we can see the direction this game is going and start making some strategies. For now we have many questions about what will come. I am personally hoping for more art sneak peeks, more info about the abilities of characters and technologies, faction bonuses, any chance that we have combos with different cards, and the different type of HQs that we can find. And also, if there is one, how will the ranking system work? Okay, so as I was making this video, the team released an alpha of how a card would look like and a character would look like. So here it is. We see Ouroboros, and we see its attack, its HP, and at the middle we see it says loyal, structure 10, and pickup. This might be related to this card's abilities. We don't know yet, but we are hoping for some news. That's it. I hope you enjoyed the video. It was helpful to you, and if you like it, please hit the like button and subscribe. I will be making more videos about NFT games on the TERRA blockchain.